Hello, everybody. What's up? What's going on? And welcome to the 90th episode of Raptors of One. Happy Canada Day. That's right, July 1st, baby. And boy, do I have some things that are on my mind. I have been on Twitter since last night, just monitoring what's going on in the league, and some big things have happened. So, without any further ado, let's get it. Oh yeah, coffee. That's right. I think of myself as Batman, but I know I'm repping the Raptors. But that's okay. That's okay, because I got some news for all of y'all if you haven't been tracking. And I'm even going to speculate a little bit, all right? So I got some best news and I got some good news. I'm going to start off with the best news, but I'm going to have a sip of my coffee first. So, best news. Jakob Poeltl, the big man. That's right. He has signed on with the Raptors for $20 million per year. I believe it is about a three-year contract, maybe four. Man, I can't remember. But either way, we got our big man, and that's the best news, man. Like, for me, I know a lot of people might be like, how can that be the best news? Trust me. Signing him on, and the way he has played last season, he's good, man. I'm glad. And you know what? 20 milli, I think it's a pretty decent price for a center of his caliber. Yes, he cannot stretch the floor, but that's why he's only 20 milli, and he's not like over 20 milli. He's, but you know, it's all the other intangibles that he brings, man. Like, he's actually an underrated defender, 100%. He can see the floor very well. He makes good passes, good reads. He's kind of like a Marc Gasol without the 3-point shooting. So yeah, that was a good signing. You know, I'm just glad that we got our big man. We good now. We good for at least the center position. Now, now the other good news is that we got Gary Trent, who kind of opted into his final year of this contract. And, you know, there was a lot of speculation that he was looking for big money, but then a lot of people were also saying, well, you know, he didn't really live up to his expectations the last season, and that's why he's opting in. Yeah, I could probably agree with that, 100%. He probably opted in because he wants to increase his trade value, maybe test the free agency waters next season, see if he can get that bag, preferably somewhere in the East where there's no taxes. Is very possible. I also hear that, you know, man loves to be in Toronto. He wants to stay in Toronto. I'm not surprised that he does. I'm not saying that because I'm a Raptors fan or I am from Toronto, but it's also because it's a multicultural, you know, it's a multicultural city, multicultural country. You got the whole country backing you up when you hit the playoffs, not just a city. And even the franchise, you know, it prides on being a multicultural franchise. So, you know, he probably feels at home. Of course, it is safer than the US. So, yeah, you know, I get it. And I think it's good for both Gary Trent and for us. Now think about it, ladies and gents, Raptors fans. Yes, he might want to increase his trade value, but that also means that he's going to up his game because he wants to increase his trade value. Maybe get more bag in free agency. Maybe even sign on with Raptors with a little more bag, which means he's going to have a breakout season, right? It's not a bad signing. It's under the radar, and not very talked about because I'm going to talk about what big thing had happened coming up, but this was definitely one of the best moves, 100%. Having said that, of course, Jakob Poeltl being signed on, for me, that was good. Oh, now coming to the good news. Ladies and gents, Raptors fans, I know I'm going to get a little bit of flack for this one, and that's okay, because this is my opinion. This is what I see about the game, what I see about how it's going to benefit the organization in the long run. I'm not looking just at the short. I'm looking at the long game here, and I'm looking at possible scenarios that can happen because of what just happened. You know what? Let's just get into it. What happened? What am I holding back here? Well, I'm going to say it to you right now. I was waiting. I was waiting for one of those dominoes to fall. And they did. They did. So, what were the dominoes that could have fallen? Pascal could have gotten traded. Possibly for a round in a pick in the first round of this draft. Maybe we could have gotten Scoot out of it. But I'm glad we didn't get rid of him. Having said that, even if we did, I know, and I said it in my previous videos, and if you haven't watched my previous videos, I urge you, go ahead, check out my channel. Of course, if you like the content, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to check out more of my content, because I always refer to this, hit the subscribe button. And of course, leave your comments, but of course, keep it respectful. So having said that, I did mention this in my previous videos that it would be a win-win if we were to get rid of Pascal and Freddie. It will be a win-win because we get to start fresh, and the kind of coach that we have is a, he's a player developer coach. And Pascal and Freddie, at this point in their careers, they are in their prime. They cannot be coached by a player developer kind of a coach. They need to be in a championship kind of situation, or at least making a run for the championship. That's the kind of organizations they need to be a part of. Now, of course, and I gotta say, I have a lot of respect for Pascal because man didn't want to leave Toronto. Oh yeah, 100%. So much so that he sabotaged his own trade value in case the organization was thinking of trading him off. So much so by saying that if he were to be traded to another team after the final year of his contract, he was not going to sign on with that same team again. Oof. Of course, no team would want to take that risk, especially a team like Portland that wants to, take that next step, build around Damian Lillard, kind of help him get to that promised land. Yeah, 100%. I get it, and that's why Pascal's staying in Toronto. That was sly of Pascal, though. I got to give him that. But it's loyalty. He loves the city. He loves the franchise. And I think deep down he also knows that he's going to be a second option wherever he goes. He wants to be the primary option. And that's why he wants to stick it out in Toronto. He probably likes the city. He probably likes the organization. We cannot deny that, ladies and gents, Raptors fans. But, it is... I like to see all the angles. Either way, I'm glad. We stuck it out with Pascal. That's cool. I would have been cool if we got Scoot out of Pascal's trade too, but I'm actually happy that we're keeping Pascal. It is all good. That's loyalty. Especially when I heard that, I was like, you know what? I'm glad we didn't get rid of Pascal. So I'll eat my words. I'm glad we didn't get Scoot. Now, then there was OG. Oh man, this man has been in trade speculation since the beginning of last season. Okay, and it was going strong even here. They were almost sending OG to Portland for that third pick in the first round. Man has been in a lot of trade speculation, a lot of interest garnered by other teams too, and you got to respect that because OG is a proven two-way player. He's not at that all-star level yet. He's kind of scratching that surface. And I think with the new coach, he probably might get to be an all-star. But he's definitely not a superstar. He's scratching at the surface of the all-star. But there was a lot of interest for his services. And rightfully so, because I like OG and I'm glad we did not trade him off. He was the one piece, and you can watch my videos from previous. He was that one piece that I said we cannot get rid of. I don't want to get rid of him at no cost, no matter what the cost was. Now, so Jakob could have gone. We signed Jakob on. Pascal could have gone, but he stayed and he sabotaged his trade value. OG could have gone, but we kept him, rightfully so. Gary Trent opted in his last year of his contract, and we keeping him. So who's that domino that had to go? That's right, Steady Freddie VanVleet. Man, he signed on with the Houston Rockets 4-year, 130 milli. That's right, he's getting north of 40 milli a year. Okay. Ladies and gents, Raptors fans, I need to talk about this for a second here, okay? So, with Freddie, and when I saw social media, and I saw, whether it was just your casual fan, diehard Raptors fan, and even like, Josh Lewenberg and all these other, like, Matt Devlin, and these other sportscasters and whatnot, they were all saying, it's good that, Freddie got his bag, but we lost him. We're going to be totally lost. We're going to have a lost season. Oh, who's going to run the offense? Blah, 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 this and that. And I was thinking, it's actually not a bad thing that we let Freddie walk. Now, mind you, I would have wanted like a sign and trade for Freddie. But let's keep it real, ladies and gents, Raptors fans. He was not going to sign for 30 milli per year. He wasn't going to do that. Even though that would have been a raise in his salary, he wasn't going to do it. Why? Why do I think that? And I'm going to enlighten you guys. He changed his manager to Clutch Sports, Rich Paul. Okay? You know who Rich Paul represents. Sure, he represents Gary Trent, but he also represents LeBron James. He also, most of his clients, I can't remember the other players, but most of his players that he represents, he gets them big bags. He even represented Tristan Thompson. I remember that. I remember that contract year for Tristan in Cleveland and how they had bullied the Cleveland organization to give him that big bag. That's Rich Paul for you. That's Clutch Sports. Freddie purposely went to the Clutch Sports Rich Paul because he knew Rich Paul would give him that big bag. Then you also have to realize, now I'm looking at it through a non-basketball point of view. I'm looking straightly through Freddie's point of view. Freddie, he's hungry. He's an undrafted player. He's hungry. He wants to prove. He's still in that mentality that he wants to prove to everybody that who did not take a chance on him on that draft night that he can make it big, undrafted player. And he did so because he is the highest undrafted player in the history of the NBA. And you know what? I'm not hating on Freddie. As a matter of fact, I'm actually very happy that he got his bag. 100%. I'm happy for him. But here's the thing. Ladies and gents, Raptors fans. He is not worth 40 plus million a year. That's because he's already in his prime. If anything, he's getting close to the decline right now. Y'all don't see it. But you gotta watch his last 2 to 3 seasons. I would say since the championship run, that's when he was starting to scratch that prime surface. After that, he hit his prime. He's been hitting his prime. But now he's on his decline. 100%. You can look at the stats too if you want. I look beyond the stats. And beyond the stats, I'm telling you, he's on the decline. Father Time, you can bet on yourself. But Father Time ain't betting on nobody but himself. And you cannot outrun Father Time. It's going to catch up to you eventually. And I'm going to be very real. Freddie, he's a hard worker. He's not a naturally gifted player. He's a hard worker. And that's why all the skills and talents he has is through hard work. But there's always a timeline on hard work. And that usually coincides with Father Time. And that's why Fred is right now on his decline. He is so smart though. He's so smart. He got that big bag with a desperate Rockets organization that has only young players, no veterans. They had so much cap space. Like, he pretty much almost took like half of what was remaining in that cap space just to pay him. Freddie VanVleet, 40 million plus? With all due respect. And as much as I love Freddie and his game, I cannot pay that price. That price tag is too high. And you know what? Raptors organization, they had given him the 30 milli plus, and I'm glad that that was the only thing that they went for. And I'm glad that they did not try to up it and give the man more than he should have, more than he deserves. That's straight up. But having said that, Freddie did exactly what any man, any normal human being would do for his family. Try to get that big bag for his family. That's right. He's got 2 kids now. Now he's got a certain lifestyle he's used to. I'm pretty sure his family is used to that lifestyle too. And you know what? He's doing what every man is supposed to do for their family. Provide their best life for their family, and that is exactly what he did. He finessed into a 4-year, $130 million with the desperate Houston Rockets organization. Good for him. Good for him. I'm happy for him. At the same time, Houston Rockets, I don't know what that organization's going to do, how they're going to do in the West, and quite honestly, ladies and gents, I am glad that he's not in the Eastern Conference, that he's in the Western Conference. We only got to see him, what, two times a year? Maybe if we were lucky, we see him in the playoffs in the finals, if that ever happens. But that's not going to happen. So, twice a year, that's okay. That's okay. He's going to have a hard time in the Western Conference final. He's going to have a hard time in the Western Conference, that's for sure. You best believe that. They've got some very talented guards in that West, and he's going to have his hands full. Oh, man. Ladies and gents, for Raptors fans, I had so many thoughts in my mind. I just needed to just puke it all out in this video. I couldn't think of a better word. Like, this literally was just me puking out all the thoughts in my mind into this video. So, yeah, Freddie, it was nice knowing you, and we happy for you. You got your bag. Now, now the biggest question is, who's going to run the offense? 100%. And so, in a desperate move, the Raptors organization signed up Dennis Schroeder, 2-year, $26 million. And again, it's funny how things happen after you make these suggestions and predictions, because that's what I did. Last season, when Dennis was, I think he was on the trade deadline, or even before the trade deadline, I can't exactly remember. You can check my videos out, because I did say that the Raptors organization needs to sign Dennis as a backup point guard so that Freddie can get some breathing room. Now, we have signed him up, possibly to start at the point guard. Not necessarily a bad get, and for the price tag, it's a portion of what we would have been paying Fred. So yeah, it's not a bad get. I still feel that, Malachi was probably I think Malachi and Dennis are just going to switch spots between starting point guard duties. And of course, Jeff Downton and Marquise Noel, the recent undrafted pick that we got. He's got that dog in him just like Fred did. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out for us when it comes to running the offense. But at the moment, the only players that I can see who are starting at that point guard is Dennis Schroeder and possibly Malachi Flynn based on the matchups. Now, Raptors organization, I really hope you're watching this video. I really do. Because y'all need to pick up a player who's not going to be extended. He's one of the... He would salvage your free agency right now. He would salvage if you were to pick him up. It will also mean that you'll have to dish out quite a bit, not quite a bit, but a little more than you anticipated bag on this player. Because the Philadelphia 76ers do not want to extend this man's contract. And I think he would be the right fit for the Toronto Raptors. That's right. I'm talking about Tyrese Maxey. We could have gotten this guy 2 seasons ago. But I think now is the time. We got to go in. We got to go into Tyrese Maxey. We got to pick him up before somebody else picks him up. Because I feel like he can complement our players right now very well, especially the way he attacks the rim. And You know, with a player, developer, coach like Darko Rajakovic and of course Jama Malalela, you know, these two coaches, I think they're gonna do wonders for Tyrese Maxey. I feel like Tyrese Maxey could be like our own Ja Morant. Of course, Tyrese is developing his three-point shooting, and I think in our organization, he's going to pick it up. And I think he's going to complement Scotty Barnes very well. Very well. I think both of them are going to complement each other very well. I think we need to pick up Tyrese Maxey. Please, Masai! Please! Pick up Tyrese Maxey! Before anybody else does! I can't trust Bobby. I'm sorry. Bobby, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, man. It's just, I don't know. There's this. You got that politician vibe. I can't trust you. But Masai, you know, I know he's kind of sly himself in his own right. But I trust him because he's made some pretty decent moves, pretty risky moves that paid off. So, you know, yeah. That's all I got for today, folks. Until next time, I'm out.